I've been feeling kind of blue about something. And if you've been here, you know I'm my mom's caregiver. And if you're new here, I'm my mom's caregiver. I've been her caregiver since I was 16, and I'm 37 now. And I became my dad's caregiver when I was 21 until he passed in 2019. And until recently, it has not been made available to us to have me be compensated in any way to be her caregiver. And when my husband lost his job in September of 2022, my mom wanted to look into it again. And she asked her case manager, and the case manager said, yeah, it's available now. And the response about me being compensated has not been a positive one. In 2010 until 2020, my mom had an aide, and her hours for an aide have fluctuated per week. You know, at one point it was 25 hours. One time it went down to 3 hours. We've been holding steady at 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours a week, to be distributed throughout the week however we would want. And she had the same caregiver for 10 years. That's a long time. That she became family to us. And she only left doing that job because she wasn't just our aide. She just needed a job where she wasn't driving so much in a day. And so starting from 2020 to present, we have not found another aide. We've tried 3 or 4 agencies, and either the people never showed up, the people who showed up weren't who we were told would be, and it just didn't mesh. They would leave. They were expecting more companionship than actual tasks. So my mom hasn't had an aide since 2020. Now, with my mom getting an aide for an hour or 2 a day, I'm still around. And it's things to help give her a shower, to give me a break from doing that. It's to change her bed sheets, do her laundry, clean her bathroom, clean her commode, vacuum mop, her tasks for her. And it's not as if once this person leaves, I don't caregive. I'm caregiving 24/7. And I feel so privileged that I can do this, and that my husband, and as a family unit, we can do this. And people were always extremely happy that we had an aide to alleviate something for me, even if it was just an hour a day. And that all changed when they heard it would be me being compensated. And I would be getting the same rate an hour as an agency aide, which could be anywhere from $12 to $15. It'll be determined by the state. But nothing will change. My attitude towards this doesn't change. The loving and caring towards my mom doesn't change. So when my mom brought up to her case manager, who we've had for 5 years, this is the longest stretch we've had one case manager. So she's been there through my dad passing, the agency back and forths, and, you know, COVID stuff, and just general helping us through things. She's been there. And so when my mom said, you know, I want to look into my daughter being compensated, she goes, well, the state's going to want you to try one more agency before we go with that plan. And my mom said, okay. And we found another agency. They did their evaluation, and then my husband got COVID. But they still weren't communicating with their agency aides, and they were still sending them out, even though we had a COVID positive person in the house. And there was just a lot of communication problems. And it made us feel uneasy that they weren't communicating with their aides, or they were still sending their aides out knowing we had somebody COVID positive in the house. So my mom told her case manager, you know, it didn't work. We didn't feel comfortable. I want to proceed with my daughter. And she goes, so really, why is your daughter looking to be compensated after all this time? Why is she wanting to be compensated after taking care of you for so long? As if getting an aid is okay, but to compensate your family member for the things that an aid would do is wrong. And it's not as if for the hour or two that I would get compensation, after that hour or two, it's not as if I wash my hands of my mom and go, well, I'll see you tomorrow. No, I continue on with my day with her and caring for her needs and doing what I need to do for her. It's just from 11 to 12, I get money. $12, $15. Nothing changes. I still care for her. You know, I get applauded of all the sacrifices I've made for my mom, my parents when my dad was around, and what a good person I am and all of this and all this praise. But it means nothing anymore if I were to get paid $15 a day. Suddenly all I have sacrificed and all that I do isn't worthy anymore of people's admiration. Again, I don't need people's admiration, but it stops because I get $15 a day. If there was no compensation available in this state, as there hasn't been made available to us these last, 21 years, I would still go on caring for my mom. And if my dad were around, I would still go on caring for him. When my mom brought up this idea, it was when, my husband lost his job. And she said, let's look into this. And I said, why? She goes, because you're doing everything anyway. And I said, yes, of course I am. And she goes, so why shouldn't you be compensated for it? And my knee-jerk reaction, I guess the same as everyone else's, is because you're my mom. And she goes, yeah, and this money would be going to an agency aid. Instead, it's going to you. I mean, she's right. I'm right. Anybody else who's in agreement that it's okay to be compensated if your family is right. But to be made to feel like scum, to look into getting compensated. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. It's noble to make the sacrifices of not having a job, of putting careers on hold, or finding jobs that are flexible to give the care that your parents need, or your loved one, your spouse, your child, whatever. It's all noble and admirable. But if you do anything that tries to help yourself, it's no longer admirable. It's just made me feel blah. And it's not going to stop us from going through with this. I got the Bible worth of paperwork to fill out, to scan back each individual paper to her so she can submit it to the state to see if they approve it. And then we go from there. But we shouldn't just offer words, empty words, to caregivers. And we shouldn't offer if only you could be compensated, if only you can get help, if only, and then when you can, you withdraw that statement, because that statement is only good if you can completely and fully be a martyr. And if you can't fully be a martyr, then you don't deserve the admiration and the praise and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm rambling. Okay. That's all for now. I just wanted to get that off my mind, my chest, my heart, whatever. I'll be okay. I'll get over that phrase. But words have power. And people have got to be more careful with them. I hope you're doing well. Bye.